Imagine standing in a valley with the smell of dust and sweat hanging in the air. Across from you, a monster of a man steps forward. He stands nearly 10 feet tall. His bronze armor gleams under the Middle Eastern sun, and the iron tip of his spear weighs 15 pounds alone. He has been killing men since before you were born. Every single soldier in your army, trained warriors, battle-hardened veterans, men who have shed blood and watched others die, refuses to face him. For 40 days straight, this giant has walked into the valley and screamed a challenge, and for 40 days, not one man has answered. Now imagine you are 17 years old. You have no armor. You have no sword. You carry a shepherd's stick and a leather sling with 5 smooth stones, and you are about to walk straight toward him. This is not a myth. This is not a fairy tale. This is the story of David, and the day that turned a shepherd boy into the future king of Israel. The year is approximately 1010 before Christ. The kingdom of Israel is at war. The Philistines, one of the most feared military powers in the ancient world, have gathered their forces and camped on a hill overlooking the valley of Elah. On the opposite hill, King Saul and his Israelite army have set up their position. Between them lies the valley, a natural arena, a no man's land where the fate of nations is about to be decided. But this is no ordinary battle. The Philistines have a weapon that no army can match. His name is Goliath of Gath. Goliath is not just big. He is a professional champion, a man bred and trained for single combat. Some scholars believe he may have suffered from a condition called gigantism, caused by a tumor on the pituitary gland, which would explain his extraordinary size. But none of that matters to the soldiers staring at him from across the valley. All they see is death walking toward them on 2 legs. Every morning and every evening, Goliath steps into the open and roars his challenge. "Send me your best man. Let him fight me. If he wins, we become your servants. If I win, you become ours. The stakes are absolute. Winner takes all." And nobody moves. Now, to understand what happens next, you need to understand who David is at this point in his life. He is the youngest of 8 sons, born to a man named Jesse from the small town of Bethlehem. He is not a soldier. He has never trained for war. His job is to watch his father's sheep in the hills, one of the lowest, loneliest jobs in ancient Israelite society. But those hills have taught him something that no military academy could. Out in the wilderness, David has fought lions. He has fought bears. When a predator came for his flock, he did not run. He grabbed the animal by its jaw, struck it down, and killed it with his bare hands. David is not what he appears to be. He looks like a boy, but inside, he carries the heart of a warrior and an unshakable faith that the God of Israel fights alongside him. On the day that changes everything, David is not even supposed to be at the battlefield. His father Jesse sends him on an errand. "Bring bread and cheese to your brothers serving in Saul's army. Check on them and come back." It is a simple task, a delivery run. But when David arrives at the camp and hears Goliath's thundering voice echoing through the valley, something shifts inside him. He watches the Israelite soldiers shrink back in terror. He hears them whispering about rewards the king has promised to whoever defeats the giant riches, the king's daughter in marriage, and tax exemption for his entire family. But no one steps forward, and David cannot understand why. He starts asking questions. Who is this uncircumcised Philistine that he should defy the armies of the living God? The words are bold, almost reckless. His oldest brother Eliab hears him and snaps at him with contempt. "Why did you come here? Who is watching the sheep? I know your arrogance and the wickedness of your heart. You just came to watch the battle like it is entertainment. But David does not back down. He keeps talking, keeps asking, and eventually his words reach King Saul himself. When David stands before the king and volunteers to fight Goliath, Saul looks at him and sees exactly what everyone else sees: a boy. "You cannot go against this Philistine. You are just a youth, and he has been a man of war since his youth." But David tells Saul about the lion and the bear. He tells him that the same God who delivered him from the claws of wild animals will deliver him from the hand of this giant. And Saul, with no other options and perhaps a flicker of desperate hope, agrees. "Go, and the Lord be with you." Saul tries to give David his own armor: a bronze helmet, a coat of mail, a sword. David puts it on and immediately takes it off. He cannot move in it. He has never worn armor. He is not going to pretend to be something he is not. This is one of the most critical moments of the entire story. David refuses to fight Goliath on Goliath's terms. He will not play the giant's game. Instead, he picks up his shepherd's staff, walks to a nearby stream, and carefully selects 5 smooth stones. He places them in his pouch, grips his sling, and walks into the valley. Picture this moment. The entire Philistine army is watching from one hillside. The entire Israelite army is watching from the other. And between them, a teenager is walking calmly toward the most dangerous man alive. Goliath sees David approaching and is insulted. "Am I a dog that you come at me with sticks?" He curses David by his gods. "Come here, boy, and I will give your flesh to the birds of the air and the beasts of the field." David does not flinch. He shouts back with words that have echoed through 3,000 years of history. "You come to me with a sword, a spear, and a javelin. But I come to you in the name of the Lord of hosts, the God of the armies of Israel, whom you have defied. This day the Lord will deliver you into my hand, and I will strike you down and cut off your head. And all the earth will know that there is a God in Israel." Then David runs. He does not walk, does not hesitate. He runs toward the giant. He reaches into his bag, pulls out a single stone, loads his sling, and releases it. The stone flies through the air and strikes Goliath square in the forehead, the one place his armor does not protect. The giant's eyes go blank. His massive body sways. And then, like a tower crumbling, Goliath crashes face first into the dirt. The valley goes silent. For one eternal second, nobody breathes. Then David walks to Goliath's body, draws the giant's own sword from its sheath, and cuts off his head. The Philistine army sees their champion dead, and they break. They shatter. They run. And the Israelites, the same men who had been paralyzed with fear for 40 days, charge down the hill with a roar that shakes the valley and pursue the Philistines, all the way to the gates of their cities. In a single afternoon, David goes from being an unknown shepherd boy to the most famous man in Israel. The women will sing in the streets, "Saul has slain his thousands, and David his tens of thousands." That song will haunt King Saul for the rest of his life, and eventually drive him to madness and jealousy. But that is a story for another day. What matters right now is this: David did not defeat Goliath because he was stronger. He did not win because he was luckier. He won because he saw what no one else could see. Everyone in that valley looked at Goliath and saw an unbeatable giant. David looked at Goliath and saw a target too big to miss. Everyone else calculated the odds and concluded they could not win. David calculated from a completely different equation, one that included an invisible, almighty variable that no one else was factoring in. This is the day that made a king. Not the day he was crowned. Not the day he sat on a throne. The day a boy with a stone and an impossible faith walked into a valley and refused to be afraid.